right, we'll wait for you.
Patricia, you want a little bowl while the mayor's out?
A little bowl. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Lake Park Centennial Celebration Committee meeting agenda for Tuesday, September 19th at 6:30. Roll call. Evelyn Clark.
Present.
Roger Machad.
Present.
Mary Beth Taylor.
Here.
Patricia Leduc.
Here.
John Linden here. And joining us is Reunity Franks. All right, and of course, we can't do nothing without Vivian, so Vivian's here too. All right, good. Pledge of Allegiance. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Consent agenda. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
I motion that we accept the consent agreement.
Anyone second it?
Second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None. It passes 5-0. First item for new business is the Centennial Art and Music Festival update, and I will turn it over to Reunity.
So we are almost, a couple of days away from the event, which is this Saturday, September 23rd, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. This event will be held in conjunction with the Rust Market, which is a monthly event that is actually starting at 9 a.m. And will continue to run till 5 p.m. All of the vendors are listed on the festival vendor list that you have in front of you. We've received their applications, payments, certificate of insurance, all of the things needed for them to participate in the event. All of the vendors have received all of the information regarding arrival, setup, parking, all of those things. They can begin arriving at 8 o'clock a.m. A couple of vendors said to me that they thought that they may need more than 2 hours to set up, so we pushed the time back to 8 a.m. Some vendors have gotten confused with the time because the Rust Market vendors are allowed to come in and set up beginning at 6 a.m. because the Rust Market portion will start at 9. So we'll bring in the Rust Market vendors starting at about 6 a.m. We'll get them set up in the parking lot and then hopefully get them out and parked so that the Centennial vendors can start moving in. Our Public Works Department has ordered all of the barricades that we need for the event, so hopefully things will be as seamless as possible. The only thing that I can say that we kind of ran into that kind of made us change the setup a little bit was that initially my thought was that we were going to have the stage on the Park Avenue near 8th Street. But if you notice when you drive down Park Avenue, there is a blue apartment building that only has one entrance and one exit, and then that entrance and exit is on Park Avenue. And so in order to not impede upon their entrance and exit, we kind of moved some things around as far as the stage and cones and barricades and things like that. The stage and sound equipment will be done by ESS Productions. He is actually local here in Lake Park. We had a meeting with him last week to kind of go over a couple of things. He will be bringing all of the equipment and his crew over to Park Avenue and 7th Street. We are going to set up kind of like a makeshift tented area for his crew throughout the event. Also, the bands have been notified, and we've received all of the information that we needed from them. The band parking will actually take place over at Park Avenue Podiatry. Dr. Stark was very nice in letting us use his parking lot so that the band can have a separate location to park from the vendors and the event attendees as well. Because the Rust Market starts at 9 a.m., we didn't want to not have music for them at 9. So the Indigo Dreamers will play from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. And then Leafy Greens at 11:30 till about 2. School of Rock from 2:30 to 5. So we'll have music throughout the whole entire event. Indigo Dreamers will be set up on a separate stage from the stage that will be on the street. Their stage will be in the east entrance to the 700 block. It's a smaller stage than the one that will be on Park Avenue, but I wanted to make sure that they were in an area where all of the up while they're performing. So we wanted to find a separate location so that it doesn't interrupt everyone's flow. They will. So there's the 700 building area has 2 different entrances. Their stage area will be set up on the east end of the building. More towards, I guess, the Kelsey Theater. Yeah, more towards the theater. Yeah, so their small stage will be set up there so that they can play to the event attendees that are attending the Rust Market inside of the parking lot. Other than that, we were just kind of going through the motions and getting things done, making sure that as far as the town's insurance goes, that we have everyone's certificate of insurance from all of the food and beverage vendors, making sure all of those things are correct, making sure that we have spoken to all of the private business owners whose parking lots we are using. So the Rust Market vendors, once they finish taking out their equipment, they will then take their cars into the back alleys of the 700 block and then the 800 block to park once they kind of finish taking all of their equipment out of their cars. That is the same plan for the art and music festival vendors. We will have them park back there as well. And then we also will have vendor parking set up on at First Family Church Lake Park. In their parking lot that is located on the corner of Park Avenue and 7th Street. So we will have vendor parking there as well if we need some overflow parking. And then, of course, we'll have the CRA parking lot. Family Church has another parking lot that's here on Greenbrier and 6th Street. Then, of course, Town Hall parking lot, street parking, and those as well. So I think we've kind of hammered out and worked out all of those details. Everyone is pretty much ready to go. Our finance department will be working on making all of the payments and getting the checks ready for the band and all of those things. Other than that, just kind of taking some additional phone calls and emails from vendors that have questions about their setup. Of course, there are several mostly food and beverage vendors that we're going to hold specific spots for them just because, a trailer can be a little bit longer than someone's 10 by 10 tent, or depending on the food truck, their window may be on the driver's side or the passenger side. And so we'll be working with them to just kind of figure out the specific spaces that they will need to be in. Also, there's a barbecue vendor who has a grill, so, we'll need a special space for him, and making sure that the ground up underneath the grill is covered so that we do not leave any yeah, so that I don't want to leave spots on the nicely paved road. So we'll make sure we have all of those things. You will, or you may or may not notice that a couple of the Centennial banners on the corner of Park Avenue and 7th Street will probably come down. And that's just simply just because of the stage, and we want to make sure that nothing is being hit or torn. So we'll just probably end up taking maybe 2 of those down on Friday. Other than that, like I said, we're just kind of fielding more calls from the vendors, answering some last minute questions that they may have. My plan is I'll probably be there on site starting at 7. I'll meet our public works. Our public works guys will come out at 8, and then the barricades will arrive at 7 as well. And then there are some things that we will be setting up the day before. There are a couple tents that will be set up the day before the port. Questions? Yes, we have chalk. So we have a couple of things. We have some canvases for painting. We have a bunch of jumbo coloring pages with crayons, and then we also have the sidewalk chalk.
And that'll all be in one area for the children?
Yes, so the kids area will mainly be over at the 800 building, so right there at 800 Park Avenue at the recreation building.
Okay.
So inside of the building is where the face painting will be, because we wanted to make sure we gave them a cool area. And then we've ordered a tent that will cover the parking lot area, 2 different tents to cover the parking lot area. So that's where we'll set up all of the chalk and
For the kids?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I see our list filled out a little bit, our vendor list.
It has, because Jesse definitely made sure that anyone that was not appropriate for the Rust Market side of it, that he sent them to me. I know that you guys went out passing out things, so there were a couple of people that called or emailed and said they had spoken to you all. So yeah, the vendor list ended up and honestly, we actually received a couple of emails today from vendors that we kind of had to turn away just because I need to get my site map to the appropriate people, and we can't keep taking them. So,
Roger?
Any last minute advertisements outside of the scope of what we've done so far?
not that I'm aware of, other than just the. Oh yeah, the social media stuff. Yeah, Lamar will run all of the last minute social media stuff for this week. Yeah.
Oh, please.
Okay, so the list looks good in addition to the Rust Market group, right? So we got a good turnout there. And what did we decide on in terms of the beer that's being sold? I know we went back and forth about the vendor, and we made a decision. You know, what is the final outcome? I don't remember.
So Bonner Mobile Bar are on the list. They're the alcohol vendor, but Locale will also be open, and so will Kelsey. Mm-hmm. And the brew house will be open as well.
What time would you like us to be there?
I'd say maybe 9:30ish.
9:30.
Yeah.
Is the parking lot at Dr. Stark's going to be closed off?
Yes.
All right, so can we as a committee park in there?
Yes.
So our parking would be there right at Dr. Stark's, okay, good. And you've spoken to Winter about the parking in the church? They don't have no events going on that day?
Normally, we have to give the church a certificate of insurance whenever we use their parking lot.
Excellent. All right, 9:30, we're there. Anything specific you would like any one of us on the committee to do?
I think for the committee, I would definitely want you guys to be able to hang out closer to the stage area, because I want you guys to be able to, say hello to everyone when we first get started, introduce yourself so everyone knows that you're on the committee. And then, in between the bands, maybe talk about some of the upcoming centennial events. And then also I'll have the flyers for you all to pass out as well. So
Okay. So we'll wear our shirts and hats and also our name tags if you can find them, okay? All right. And yes, Mary. No, Mary, please go ahead.
I'm going to say, oh, help is over there. Thank you.
Oh, sure. You just want to color on the sidewalk, Mary. Let's be honest here.
I have a couple volunteers that are anxious to try
I
that.
love it.
I invited my grandson. I hope he comes. He's 12.
Riunite, I don't remember, were we going to sell any of the premium items at the event this Saturday or not?
the keepsakes, no.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. And I'm glad the list got a little better. So, excellent. Next on the agenda, go to the front of the agenda. Centennial Celebration Gala. Reuniting.
So we're still, moving towards getting everything set and ready for the gala. The one thing that I wanted the committee to kind of discuss tonight was that we still haven't really had any movement as far as the tickets are concerned. We have about 33 people listed on the list that we have, tickets for, who have either are getting tickets free because they were raffle winners or are committee members or a spouse of a commissioner that we know they're going to pay. We did have a staff person that has already purchased their ticket and maybe 2 or 3 that will as well. But I just kind of wanted the committee to discuss how you would like to move forward with either selling the tickets, giving away more tickets. Are you comfortable if we don't get to 100 as far as, attendees at the event? Are there more people that, you want us to reach out to? Do you want to do more raffles at the event this weekend and at Sunset Celebration next Friday? We can definitely do that if you'd like. Just kind of some direction on, or you just kind of feel like it's still a little too early. The banner will be going up next week. Once we take down the Art and Music Festival banner, because we'll have now the Gala and Sunset Celebration banners up. So the banner will go up. The information has gone out. It's been in the newsletter twice now. I can say that I haven't received any phone calls or emails, just with anyone asking questions about it. We did send out the invite to the former mayors and commissioners. We did get one person that did reply and said that she did, would like to take a ticket. So we've already given her her ticket. We've given Forest Development all of their tickets as well. So just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on how you would like us to proceed, or if you still think it's a little too early, what you would like.
Thoughts, comments?
I have been thinking about it, and I was also thinking about a raffle because I think that would, bring some attention to the event. And, I was wondering how we could coordinate that at this coming event. If we're doing the breaks in between, how would we get out the tickets and if it was like maybe somebody's there, you have to be present, and then we keep drawing till somebody's there, because then it keeps the excitement and people staying longer, and then it kind of highlights the event that's coming up.
I think because of the magnitude of this event and how many blocks we are using, something like that would not work well. My thought is, if you would like to do something like this for this event, that, we have volunteers that will be here volunteering at the event on Saturday. My thought would be that, we'll have volunteers going around with clipboards with little small sheets of paper to get someone's name and their phone number. and then we'll put the numbers in a bowl, the slips in the bowl, and we'll pull their ticket, and then we will call them from the recreation building, because our phones are there. So we'll just call their phone and tell them to come to the recreation building to pick up their tickets. That's how we can do it for Saturday. Of course, for Sunset Celebration, we can give out the regular raffle tickets because, it's right there.
Could we like have a 1 an hour or something like that? Say that'll be announced at what time. That way, they might want to stick around for a little while and then give that another one start again.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can decide how many you want to do, and we can let them know that we can even, we can say that we can announce them there'll be an announcement at, let's see, if we start at 11, we can say that there will be an announcement at 12, one at 1, one at 2, one at 3, one at 4. So depending on how many you want to actually raffle off, we can definitely do that.
Do we have a tent ourselves, or we're working out of the recreation building?
For the committee,
Well, for the town or the committee, one or the other.
we did not put up a town tent, but we can. Do you guys want to be underneath your own tent?
Well, my thinking was a lot of things different, like a car show, when they raffle stuff off, at the main entrance or the main tent, they post the winners. So if you don't, you may or may not heard or didn't get your phone number, if they wanted to check to see if they won, it doesn't matter if we could post them somewhere on the back of a poster board, winners.
Well, I would prefer if they could come to the recreation building.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Because there's a lot of moving parts for this event, and there's a lot of vendors.
So we can just do a poster board very quickly with, marker winners for the gala and just scotch tape them on or tape them on, so.
At the end of that hour, you mean, put their name up so they can check on that board? How else will they?
Yeah, we could either put their name or we can put the winning ticket, one or the other.
Should they have a line for age, because the gala is for adults, and they're not going to get children's names or anything like that.
That is up to you all. If you tell me that you want to give children's names, but
Well, let's
don't-
see. I see a lot of head shaking. No,
I would
it's
think
more of an adult.
we could say that it's for when we make the announcements, we can say it's 18 and over only.
I agree.
My only other question is how many tickets per hour are we taking? Like do it in couples where it's 2 tickets an hour, or 2 couples, which would be 4 tickets. What are you guys thinking in that sense? Absolutely.
We
But-
do have the donations that were given back to us from Forest Development, so we can include a
Those
few of
as
those.
well.
How many were those that they had gave back to the town for use?
Technically, I don't think you can, because that is what we're using for the commission and the committee. So,
Okay.
yeah, 5, 6, 7.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Per hour and 4, say 12, 1, 2, and 4, because 5 o'clock, everybody's going to start breaking down, and
Absolutely.
yeah, it'd be kind of a little chaotic at that point. So I'd say 4, noon, 1, 2,
We're skipping 3.
3. Oh, yeah, 3 o'clock, happy hour. Everybody's at the bar getting a beer.
So if I'm,
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah. 10.
There's 5 breaks, right?
So if I'm understanding, we're going to give 2 tickets away to a person,
No,
or
I know how to count.
I would suggest that you give someone, if someone wins the raffle, I suggest that they get 2 tickets. That way they can bring someone with them. Yes.
Yeah. We could also announce that
'Cause
you could buy tickets.
I
at the
don't think someone
recreation.
wants to come by themselves, and I don't think that they will be willing to spend the $100 to
and
pay.
it's a lot of tickets, and I'm just thinking about staff. I just think, some staff have already paid. I'm just thinking about staff, and we're giving away 10 tickets, and staff is not going to be able to come. I don't know, I'm just kind of.
Meaning you want meaning you want to give staff free tickets, or you want the staff to buy their tickets? Because the staff already knows that the tickets are here and for sale. I don't anticipate more staff purchasing tickets.
It just seems a lot to give away when it just seems like a lot to give away when I'd like to see staff somehow benefit from the tickets.
You want staff? Are you saying you want to give tickets to the staff?
I'd like to see either give it to them, but we already had some people, staff who've already, okay. I like to see some tickets given away to some staff. I mean, they are different calibers working for our city and may not be able to do $100, but they work hard for their city, and they've been working hard for this event. I just feel a little bit mixed about giving away free tickets when I know staff deserves to have some free tickets and come. I welcome any thoughts on that. That's just the way I
Well,
see
what
it.
about for the staff, have kind of an intimate raffle, and the staff that would like to come, let them like put their, $1, $2 or something in, and then some of the staff will win a ticket. Yeah, but it won't cost them but a couple bucks, but that would be a fair way to distribute them, because you may have only a handful want to come, and they put their thing in, and you're giving away, figure out how many you want to give away, and then they draw it out, and those are the ones that can come.
Right. I was just looking for a fair way to
Yeah.
enable the staff to
Yeah.
come, so that's
Well,
why I just posed the question.
just have a
And that's one
small-
idea, and I welcome any, but my concern was more for the staff.
Just have like a closed raffle just for the staff. And also, I don't know how many tickets that we would have left, but if you had leftover, then you could announce at the place you can buy tickets at the recreation place. Somebody may win them, then they think, well, somebody else will take somebody else with us. They may want to buy a ticket. Could they buy them there if there'd be any for sale? You don't know whether they would or not, but anyway. Thank you.
I like what you said there, because I think staff should be involved. A solution to that could be, instead of doing 10, we could do 6 and do it every other hour. And now you're taking 4 tickets and put that aside, allocated for staff. So then you would go 12, 2, and 4. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the bands break in between those times. Because
Well, if we gave away the 20, that still leaves us with 54 tickets left.
I don't know what kind of number you're thinking of allocating to staff.
Well,
per
I'm just
se.
saying we're going to have 50 tickets left.
But I know also there was thoughts of having residents also have the option of purchasing tickets, or
I know some neighbors that were talking about buying tickets.
so that's another. That in itself, I mean, I don't know what our consensus is as far as how moving forward. I mean, I know we want to give tickets away at the event, but then after that, there's still that time period to proceed. And I like the idea with staff, but what else? And that's what I'm thinking.
I like the idea of, number one, reducing the amount of tickets at the event. I like the idea that Mary had just given of how to give them to staff. When the gala comes closer to being launched, I think that's a good time to see what we got left over, and then offer that in the idea, somebody's idea, about offering it to the staff in a pool when we actually know how many residents bought, what's left over, and the rest goes to staff.
So your next meeting before the gala is October 3rd. If I'm a staff person, and I think getting a free ticket is great, but you are only giving me a weekend to figure out if I need childcare, I need to find something to wear. That's just my own opinion. That's a very short notice for a working person to get their ducks in a row to come to a gala that is the next weekend.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, if we don't have 100, say we only have 75 or 80, that'd be okay too. It would just be a smaller affair.
You don't you and right, you don't have to have the room packed with 100 guests. You
No,
know,
it
you
might-
don't
that's a
definitely
lot.
it is a lot. It is a lot and it would be tight, but you know, definitely if you get to even 65 or 70, that's still a lot
nice-
of people in
nice
a room.
gathering. I think that's a nice, more intimate.
Plus, we also have
gathering.
to consider the caterer, there's music. Those are also people involved in that 100.
I know, that's a lot of
As
people.
far as
on that.
capacity is concerned,
Exactly.
yeah.
I think 75 would even be a really nice, doable.
Okay, so this Saturday, you want to raffle off tickets and you're going to do them every hour or every other hour?
I'm thinking every hour.
Did we decide if we were going to reduce or not, or?
I believe when we initially just had the conversation about possibly raffling off tickets so far we've only had it at that first event. I was under the impression we were
Yes.
going to try to do it more often. So I think to kind of get the enthusiasm from the residents and all of the attendees, it's going to be a very well attended event. Passing out the flyers. I feel that giving away another round of raffle tickets, once every hour, so that's a total of 10, still leaves a lot of other tickets. If at the last minute we decide to maybe, go for the weekend warrior of a staff member that maybe would love to be able to come, and we, maybe haven't reached the capacity, and it's something we want to, employee of the month. I don't know what things, work internally in here. So I'm just thinking out loud, but I do believe during the initial planning, we had talked about giving additional raffles. So far, we've only done one. So I would really like to do the raffle. I think we're going to be making the announcement. You're going to be over at the rec center. We're going to be passing out flyers. So I hope it'll generate sales because that was, trying to get the community involvement. And then we can figure out, if and when last minute we have some additional tickets, then perhaps at that time, we could, look at other options.
I'm still in the quandary. We've addressed staff how we're going to do that. It's the amount of free tickets, and there have been people that have worked alongside of us as a committee to help these events get launched and be successful, and they're not here on the ticket list. I.e. Diane, the tall gentleman over at the Historical Society, LJ, I think that's his name. Yeah, I mean, there are other people who might feel somewhat slighted, and that's what I'm trying to avoid because they were really in the trenches and some even in the heat. And we're giving away a lot of free tickets. I want them to be considered as well.
If we did 10 tickets, how many would be left? Oh, no. I think even with 54, you're still able to give tickets to them, those that you've mentioned, and then still be able to sell some as well. I don't think that's why I asked for the total, because the numbers ain't gonna lie to me about what I'm working with. So, yeah, there's still a lot there. So absolutely. So I would be of the same light to do the tickets that way.
All right, 5 breaks in between everything. 2 tickets per person on the raffle would be 10 tickets. All right, everybody, Mary,
How much are the raffle tickets? How much you gonna sell those for? The chance,
This is
we were
free.
given
It's free.
free. It's
Well,
free.
you just give tickets to people?
Right.
Oh, I thought they were gonna charge for it.
No.
They're going to have volunteers going out
Just giving them.
for interested people over 18.
Yeah, they're taking their name and number on a paper that's basically like tabs, and then they're gonna break the tabs. We'll put it in the bowl and we'll pick one every hour.
Okay, I thought it was like the raffle.
No, that's fine. Just want to give you clarity.
And maybe after Saturday, you can get a running total of how many we may have sold, how many we have left. And again, the fact of giving them to staff, I'm very supportive of that. And it would be nice because Diane, LJ, and Rick have participated. So if we have enough left afterwards, we maybe can offer it to them. But like the Janet Miller's the right employee of the year, and so things like that would be kind of good.
That's without question.
Yeah.
That's a must.
Okay.
Quick question. Are you deciding on Rick, Diane tonight, or you just want to wait?
LJ, what do you think?
Okay, that's what I'm thinking, we gotta make sure that we don't slight anybody that's on the peripheral, can you think of anybody else, those three? Can you think of anybody else?
Wasn't there? What about the gentleman that went on the tour with Diane?
Which is, I don't remember his name.
Will Serrano.
Will.
Is there anybody else? I was trying to think, is there anybody else that's been helping us?
No, because the three of them normally show
Yeah.
on and off here. They've been instrumental in supporting us. Pictures and stuff.
I mean, unless you wanted to think of Jesse himself, who's made his own adjustments. Jesse. Of the Rust Market. I know him and his wife would be.
I don't know. It's up to you guys. What do you think?
Well, that'll then there's other people in that business district
Yeah,
that might
they're
feel
almost-
slighted if we didn't.
I was just thinking of him because he's the promoter of his event.
Yeah, he's been instrumental in scheduling.
Once we hear back from, and if we add 8 more tickets there, Diane, LJ, Rick, and Will, right? When we see what happens after Saturday, how many we've sold, maybe, hopefully, we don't have enough to give away, but if we do, I think then maybe you could send out an email to the committee, and we could respond back on the email. I love the raffle idea for the staff, maybe 1 or 2 per department, I don't know. Or if they want to come enter their name into the raffle, that may be better, because some people, I don't want to go. And others may, and just.
When you go around and give people's names, you could say you can also buy.
Right. So Janet Miller is receiving her Employee of the Year proclamation tomorrow. Do you want to give her the 2 tickets at the meeting tomorrow?
I think that would be very
Okay.
appropriate. Personally, you got it. Right, at the meeting itself, Roger will be giving her the proclamation.
And then I'll let you do the tickets.
You let me do the tickets?
Absolutely.
That way,
Yeah, that's great,
excellent.
that's a good idea. Okay.
Okay, good. Moving on, I got that one resolved.
Yeah.
Almost, thank you, good suggestion for everyone. All right. Next on the agenda was time capsule. All right.
So we need to start thinking about items for the time capsule. And so I know at the last meeting, someone suggested maybe asking the town staff to give some suggestions. And so I've attached that to the list here. So there's a list of some of the suggestions that I've already received from the staff. Just because they're there, that doesn't mean that we have to use them. They're just the suggestions that we received. But again, we'll talk about this more again at the next meeting because the time capsule event isn't until November. But still just trying to kind of get an idea of what you guys would like to see in the time capsule for you all to kind of start thinking about it. So at the next meeting, you can probably come with your own list of things that you feel like we should include.
I haven't been around 100 years, so I haven't seen a time capsule. How big is our time capsule to put things in? What is it, and how big is it?
It's, I guess you can imagine like a gallon-sized, 2-gallon-sized bucket. It's round, and I meant to bring a picture of the video that I saw. It's beneath the clock tower, so imagine kind of like a 2-gallon-sized bucket.
2 gallon size. How big is 2 gallons?
So no poster boards, nothing, nothing like, right. Yeah, nothing like that. Things that, we can fold up. Yeah, probably so. Things we can fold up or roll up, and, of course, things that and they'll have to be preserved. So, nothing perishable. We're not going to put an apple in there or anything like that, but, no chocolates, I would imagine, but,
a USB with photos and videos. Who says they're gonna have USB then?
Well, and that's funny because the person that suggested it, he said, I'm not sure if there'll be, a USB, plug somewhere around in 25 years, but, I mean, in 1998, the stuff were put on a disc, and, I do have a disc drive here on my computer, so we were able to view it, but that is something that the person said, I don't know if we'll be able to view it in 25 years, but hopefully.
Well, when you Google and research what to put in a time capsule, they want you to take a screen or a shot of the current affairs for that year and previous close years, 3 to 5. That's what I got off of Google, whether it's right or wrong. And it really prompts a lot of ideas. Politically, where you at? Where's the state or the country, the state of the country, stuff like that. So it'd be some good research for us to do. I like that. We can discuss it next time. Also, coins are a big push, and there's the proof coins, fairly inexpensive, for 2023 that are already sealed and ready to go. We don't know what's in the time capsule. Get an idea, but I'm not sure what's in there. So, we can put our heads together and come up with a list, but I was fortunate enough today to be at Lake Park Elementary, where they cut open the time capsule from 1993 or 1923. They had to bring in, there's a square, okay? So they had to bring in people from the school district to cut it open, and open it. They did not want to do it on the day of next week, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The people, Dr. Castro, his boss, was real nervous that there may be something in there inappropriate for today's standards. So Rick Goodsell was with me, and he took a whole slew of pictures and movies of opening the initial one. Nobody will know that. This group here will, but the official opening will be next week, next Wednesday. In their newspapers, an old Masonic book. Of course, the coins were in there. And like you said, everything that was preserved was wrapped and sealed in plastic. It's been there forever. And so I can get you more of an exact list, but that led up to another question. And I just got that today from Dr. Castro. They're trying to decide what to put in theirs also. Yeah. And they're going to put back in everything that they took out, which kind of makes sense, So when somebody opens it the next 50 years, they'll be able to get more of a history of what goes on. But he said, I'd love to display it somewhere for the town or the people. And I says, well, on our gala on the 18th, 18th? No. At the festival. I said, we're going to have a table with everything from our time capsule displayed. I said, I'll ask the committee tonight if we could incorporate yours just to say, well, it's not a single decision. It's, yeah. This way here, it could be Lake Park Elementary School, time capsule. They'll bring the capsule over. This is actually the second one. The first one is much smaller, and they took it separately. So your thoughts on letting them have part of the table or a table to display theirs?
I would say absolutely. I mean, they coincide with the city. City and both the school and the city were incorporated within the same year. That's without question.
Okay. Other thoughts?
I think that's a good idea.
Sure. The more we have, the more interesting it'll be.
I like to challenge us that here we are 100 years later, 2023, and what, it's another 100 years, will it be open? And some of us are old enough to remember the Jetsons.
Oh, absolutely.
And I like to put something that we think is very futuristic, maybe that's really awesome, that's futuristic today, and put that in there, even though it may be archaic by the time it opens in 100 years. But at least they can think that we were a little bit on the edge of technology. I don't care if it's an old iPhone or, something that's kind of futuristic right now.
AI. I was just thinking it's on the cutting edge now. Some people have been using it. Some of people use it.
Just put an iPhone in there with ChatGPT, and you're good to go.
Yeah, they'll say, what is
App.
For 100 years.
What is this? How do you do that?
Yeah, just something that
Something
they
new
might
to
say,
us.
wow, at least they were thinking of technology.
Well, great point.
I was saying an electric car, but it won't fit in the box.
Information about
Well, what I noticed on this was everything was like movable, foldable, all the magazines, the books, so it could be preserved. But as Reunity said, we'll look this over. We'll all come up with a list. Next meeting, we can discuss the list. And I think between the 6 of us, and if Vivian would help, she's welcome to help, the 7 of us could come up with some really cool stuff.
We can collect them in the meantime.
Oh, sure.
Bring them and see what people think. Do you have a laminator? We can laminate some stuff.
Yeah, one thing we did do as a committee, we purchased 1923 coins for the display for the birthday. The original thought of that was they'd go back into the time capsule. So we do have some older coins that can go in for the era. And, but yeah, let's put a list together, okay? Well, yeah, something current with today's books. Yeah, they. You know what? The little tour book. Yeah, we could. Yeah, next meeting we could really, because we're not going to have a lot on the agenda for next week.
When we did, it was old, and by then it was really old.
All right. Excellent. Okay.
Roger will still be around in 100 years. No, they opened this. How long has this one been?
89.
No, so the one that's at the clock tower has only been in since 1998. So
98.
they've been opening them every 25 years.
Right.
We hope so.
All right. Okay, so Dr. Castro, the principal, has invited the commissioners to go down next Wednesday. Wants to extend the offer to both you two, if you would like to go, Patricia and Evelyn, if you want to go.
Wednesday?
It's Wednesday at 10 o'clock at the school. I told them I'd update them tomorrow if you wanted to go. Didn't know if your schedule was permitted. Mary, you're already down. Roger's not. I'm down. Reunity's there.
September 27th?
Yeah, going to be a good lunch.
Okay.
Sorry Catering. Anthony's catering the lunch, and Brooklyn Cupcakes is doing the dessert.
And it's right at the school?
At the school, 10 o'clock, yeah. Parking's going to be a little bit awkward. I'll take my golf cart. All right. I'll pick Roger up, all right? The school on Third. All right. They're limiting it.
Oh, yeah, it's straight down. I used to walk. I worked there. I used to walk, ride my bike.
They're trying to limit it.
Walk? Yeah, sure. It was a neighborhood school. Everybody used to walk.
So they're trying to limit it to 100 people. So I'll make sure that I speak with him tomorrow. I'll let him know that he can display with us. That's kind of fun. Next item is I spoke with DiAugustino to sponsor the lunch for their centennial. And he suggested to look at our budget, which we have more than enough to put the $1,000 up for the lunch. So, not my decision, it's a committee decision. If we say no, there's money elsewhere in the budget. But we thought it would be kind of nice for the Lake Park Centennial Committee to sponsor the Lake Park Elementary Centennial Luncheon. Your thoughts? Money's available either way. So.
I would be more prone for the Centennial to do it. If you go into, and again, I know we have 3 elected here, other budgets, I'm not sure if that's something we would have to have approved first prior. I think our town clerk may be more, would that be something we would need approval for prior to, or does that fall within the threshold of the town manager to make that call?
I think it would be something that if you decided to go, through the general town budget, then yes, I would have to bring it before the commission. If you decided that you wanted the Centennial Committee to just sponsor it, then you guys could just take a vote, and then I could do it that way.
Mary?
I think that would be easier. But I also wanted to ask you about the fireworks. I know, did you say Kim talked to you about a fireworks display? Oh,
So
okay.
I'll say that the RFQ for the fireworks is out now, and we can't really discuss it at this point until everything is done.
But we would have enough money to do the fireworks and this $1,000.
Oh, yes.
I just
Yes.
think it'd be easier just take it out of the Centennial if there's money there, and this will be dissolved at the end of the year, and then it would be a cleaner thing just to take it out of this if we have plenty of money.
No, as long as we have the funds available in the Centennial money, I'm okay with that. I think that's a grand idea because, like you said, they're celebrating. It's the whole town celebration, and if it's their Centennial, then we're all Lake Park. Let's support them.
Evelyn?
I agree with everybody. I got code them.
So
One question.
we'll
What
take
kind of,
the.
what
I'm
kind
sorry.
of food does Anthony's have? Is it pizza or what?
No. Now I got to get to the menu.
I don't like cold pizza.
It's
$1,000 worth of cold pizza.
tentative schedule. It has to get finalized by Castro, but everything but what okay, let's see. I think now I'm going to probably butcher the.
That's all right.
No. He's going to do. Oh,
That's all right.
oh, it's kind of interesting. No, chicken fricassee,
Fricassee?
fricassee with lemon, tomato, basil, butter,
That's okay.
jasmine spinach rice, melody of garden vegetables. The dessert will come from Brooklyn Cupcakes.
Okay.
But what is interesting, Anthony is going to pair up with Inlet Grove and Chef Hall, and the students from their culinary school are going to help prepare, serve, and be part of it.
Oh,
So we got the two schools that
Who
are
is
participating.
Anthony?
Yeah,
who is Anthony?
Anthony's the owner of the barbecue place,
Oh.
Sully Barbecue.
Oh, okay.
Sully?
Okay, I didn't know that, who that was. You were
Yeah,
talking-
that's
I
okay.
thought Anthony's Pizza.
Commissionary
There is no
Market.
Anthony's Pizza place. What?
The Commissionary Market barbecue place.
Yeah, the barbecue place on Park Avenue. And if you haven't been there,
I know the other name as well. It's both tied in together, but
Yeah.
I just go by that one.
okay, so in Carmen, up at there is debating between doing 100 cupcakes or little cupcakes, but I'll let them be up. But we'll have cupcakes. And again, it would be nice to have that 100 written out in cupcakes. Yeah, so I'm sure that they're thinking about that. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so that's all done. Both of you are going to attend. I'll make sure that we get you in there, okay? And who's going to pick you up?
I'll meet you at the corner, Evelyn, and then we'll meet her at the. I can see the school. She can see everything.
The time capsule ceremony, I'm working on two different vehicles, both the 23 style old Ford with the rumble seat. So one or the other should come through for me on that. And we have no public comments. Committee member comments. Mary.
I'm commentless. I'm commentless. I don't have any.
Your comment.
I understood.
Patricia, do you have a comment?
Oh, no comment. I think we covered a lot of ground today, and I'm really excited for Saturday. I think it's going to be a really great event, and I'm really happy that Reunity's worked out all the details, and let's just have a good time and make it a good festival.
Roger?
I'll just say echo to everything Patricia just said.
All right, Evelyn, you're up.
I think the signs on Park Avenue look really great, and I just hope we can keep them up there longer than, after this is all over. They look really, really nice. But I guess for Christmas, they got to come down. Maybe they'll go back up after Christmas, but they look really nice. Maybe we can get some legs out of it. And I hope that this coming weekend event, from the resident standpoint, that we have a really good turnout. And if we do, this gives us a template to know that any type of ethnic festival or cultural festival, art and music festival, that the city commissioners and mayor will consider it in the future. So I'm hoping that this is a success and a template for future events of this nature.
Well said, thank you. I have, as I was looking at my notes, I have one more request from Lake Park Elementary. They would like to borrow 7 of our display boards for their event on Wednesday. Again, I'd throw it out to you guys. They gave me the list. They went over to the library to look at them. And again, they belong to us, the Centennial Committee. So it's kind of like our decision. Do we lend it to them? We don't lend it to them. So, Mary, we'll go around the room.
I think the more mileage we can get out of anything that we've put together, that we should go for it.
I think it would be fine as long as there's somebody to transport them, pick them up, and bring them back. If they have staff, I think they could coordinate maybe with Reuniti for the coordination of picking them up and bringing them back, and make sure that the library is aware that they're coming and it's all coordinated. I think Reuniti, maybe if that's something you can do.
Yes, if you all are in agreement that they can use them. If someone can just send me the list of the ones that they want, then I can have a work order put in and we can transport them over there and bring them back.
Let's get, thank you. We'll get consent, yes or no?
I ditto my colleagues here, more legs.
I as well.
Okay, so Rianiti, I'll send you this list, all right? And I guess they would need the easels. Now, I'm going to personally take the coins down because we have them locked up in this safe here. They're going to use that display board that we had for the birthday party. So I'd have no trouble being responsible for these and taking them down. You're watching? Well, I've got to take the other stuff and they're going to lock it up. Not that I need the extra work, but do you want me to coordinate with Judy? Do you want to do it? You tell me.
No, just send me the email and then I'll loop Judy in and make sure.
Okay, and she can take them off and put them aside. Not going to do it till Tuesday of next week. I want them up for our display as long as possible. And I'll take them down there Tuesday morning, and then they can knock themselves out from there. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Any other comments, questions?
Are there going to be any of them at our art and music festival?
He's aware of it. They're promoting that. Promoting it through the school, the teachers.
No, are there going to be any of the poster boards down there from the library?
Oh, good question. Are we going to take some from here to the
If the weather's permitting.
art festival?
I had not planned on
First time
bringing.
it's come
I
up,
had
yeah.
not planned on bringing them. The only issue is I don't know where we would put them.
That's where we would most likely, if we wanted to have a tent,
Yeah.
would be that tent, would be the tent for us to have our display. But again, that's something, somebody would have to be there to monitor them.
Monitor
the
it.
the weather can get.
Like Reuniti's idea to get it right out of the building, the recreational building down there.
We wouldn't. We're doing all of the face painting in the recreation
No,
building,
no,
so
no.
they're.
Instead of a tent, you had suggested the recreational building.
We're using.
Oh,
I didn't hear
I'm
that.
She's using the rec building for the face painting.
okay. So a tent or no tent? And you're right, we'd have to man it and stuff.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying. It would literally be something we would be.
Be
We have to
protected.
set up a
It
plan.
would be a gathering point for us too, though.
It's kind of an art thing too.
It's an-
Wouldn't it be kind of an art thing? The posters.
It would be an artsy thing.
Artsy thing.
And,
And people
yeah.
could look at it.
Or we could also simply just direct them to the library and go there.
At the library, I do recall, and I believe it was, I may have even done it accidentally, but, walking into the easel and then them, tipping over or falling down. And, if it's a windy day, if it's overcast, maybe we'll have some sprinkles or something. And I don't know if we could.
You also have
secure-
children running around.
Yeah, there's
Somebody
gonna
may
be a
make an
lot
accident.
of
Not to say that a
activity.
child will do it. Sometimes I can be a child and I'll do it. But, of course. But, again, we're adding something that we would have to govern ourselves. And that might be, we have enough on our plate already.
I have just one last question I was thinking about earlier. How do we manage, and I'm not trying to conjure this up, inclement weather if it happens on Saturday? I've been looking at the forecast. I'm sure you have too. And this is the first time we've done something of this nature, so even though it's at a 21%.
I mean, the town has its own policies when it comes to whether it's just rain or if it's thunder and lightning. So we would just stick to what we normally do with our own town policies, depending on what happens that day.
And usually it's more geared to the thunder side than the rain. It's more geared on the thunder side. Usually if there's thunder, everything ceases. Yes. In other municipalities, that's what they do. And I think we're no different, if I'm not mistaken.
Has anybody looked at the long-range forecast for the weekend?
I did, it said 21%.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not much.
No, I was just going to mention the RFQ for the fireworks, just in case if someone reaches out to you, please just send them to Vivian, not to me. If someone reaches out, because we have the RFQ out now for the fireworks, so just in case if someone reaches out to you, please send them, direct them to Vivian.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Need a motion? Well, next meeting date, October 3rd. Everybody have that in their book? October 3rd.
That's my birthday.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, okay. I believe I'm in town. October. Are you going to be here? I just need to check my calendar because I usually go away for my birthday.
Oh.
Check that social calendar.
My grandson.
Where are we going?
I go
And there's room for all of us?
Absolutely. I sleep 8.
Throw a comedy in there.
So I'll just have to send a note because what my schedule is, I don't know right now.
Okay. Motion for adjournment?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We're out of here, right?